All right, you just clicked on this video, but before you continue watching, I do want to give you a quick disclaimer. This video is not going to be filled with all of the dopamine-giving gadgets and gizmos. If you want one of those style videos just because you're eating some food, go watch a Mr. Beast video, or if you want some self-improvement content to watch, go watch Hamza. This video is going to be raw, unedited, unscripted for the most part. I do have a couple of notes in front of me just so I can get myself back on track when I do inevitably lose my train of thought or stutter across words or start talking nonsense, because that is going to happen for two reasons. One, I want this to be a documentation channel showing my entrepreneurial journey through the thick and the thin. I want to express my true and raw emotions to you. That is why I'm not going to be cutting anything when I mess up words or get emotional because I've just lost a lot of money or anything like that. I want this to be an authentic page, and I know that I'm not going to be optimizing for views in that situation, but once my business is doing $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $50,000 a month, this content is going to be absolute gold for you if you want to go on an entrepreneurial journey yourself. These videos are going to basically outline every place that I went wrong and every place that I went right. That is the goal of this video. That is the goal of this channel. So without further ado, I'm gonna get into the video. So I'm gonna start off by promising you three things. One, the first thing we're going to cover is why I wanted to be an entrepreneur and why you should also want to be an entrepreneur yourself. There's a lot to unpack there with the evolving AI space, and believe it or not, the reason why I want to be an entrepreneur is because of an anime. Sounds cliche. I know, I don't care. Number two, I'm going to express to you the type of business that I formed and why I formed that, and then how to basically come up with a business idea that best suits you and your specific positioning in life. Okay, because that's where I think a lot of people get things wrong, and that's where I got it wrong for a long time. I aimed outside of my current resources, and that's not intelligent to do at all. And so if you've tried starting businesses before and have failed royally, it's probably because you're fighting an uphill battle. You chose a business that you, at this moment in time, are not built for. And point number three, the thing that we will last be getting into, is I'm going to give you the raw updates of what I have initially done for my business, Winefluence. Okay, so let's start off with number one. Number one, as dumb as it sounds, I got my inspiration for wanting to be an entrepreneur through an anime called One Piece, where the main character, Luffy, is literally the embodiment of freedom. And he wants that freedom to give to everyone else so that they can achieve their wildest dreams. You see, he is the captain of a pirate ship, and he brought on all of his crew by giving them the ability to obtain their goals and ambitions in life. And I think that us as individuals should have that same caricature within us. I don't know if that's how you pronounce the name, that word, but we should have that archetype within us, the archetype of pure freedom, pure ambition to achieve whatever it is we want to achieve. And so if you want to be a highly successful entrepreneur, for me, I want to be a highly successful entrepreneur for the purpose of being able to provide and give other people the means to accomplish their goals. And that is the same reason as to why Luffy wants to become king of the pirates, is that he wants to give the most amount of people the ability to obtain and conquer their own ambitions in life. And I think that that is absolutely beautiful. I think that that is a gorgeous goal to have. It is a huge goal to have. But I think that every single one of us should want to be able to provide for our loved ones and give them the opportunities in life that they wouldn't have had elsewhere. And yeah, along the way, you are going to reap some awards or rewards. You are going to be able to buy your dream car. You're going to be able to live a lifestyle that gives you complete health and happiness. And I'm not saying that money buys happiness in the way that I think a lot of people demonize it, because it does buy happiness in the way that it allows you to self-express completely. It allows you to express your truest self. And that is why you should want to become an entrepreneur, because that is the path to get there. I want to read you an excerpt from Dan Coe, who, if you haven't checked him out and you are watching this video still, after I've made a bunch of blunders in my speech, go watch him, because you probably want to be an entrepreneur. And the way that he outlines a one-person business model has exhilarated me and inspired me to do the exact same. So in his book, Purpose and Profit, I'm going to read you who the true leaders of our world are and have always been, okay, and what the current state is. Whether this was intentional or not, it is an observable fact. Schools were created to enslave the brightest minds by promising the prestige of specialization, so they remained narrow-minded and didn't overthrow the true rulers. A royal historian or well-educated employee of the past may be perceived by the nation as someone who is smart and valuable, but the pirates, One Piece, but the pirates, or high agency entrepreneurs of the past, understood many things like geography, celestial navigation, the crew on their ship, the ship itself, economics, history, and science, and those were the necessary tools to succeed in trade and dominion. The rulers of the land were powerful, yes, but only as powerful as the resources the pirates allowed them to have for the price that they determined. Okay, so I'm saying this because we all need to become more pirates in our day-to-day life. And that is why you should become an entrepreneur, so that you dictate the price of your life. You dictate the goods. You are a polymath. You are skilled at geography, celestial navigation, the ship, the crew, everything. You are skilled at it all. Because right now, we are getting to a point in AI where you almost need to become a jack of all trades. You cannot be specialized. You cannot be the individual that just does coding, because if you just do coding, your job is gone. If you just do finance or anything like that, your job is going to be replaced in a matter of a year, let's say. You need to be able to pivot, to have this knowledge, these different perspectives of ways to look at things. You need to understand people fundamentally. You need to understand the crew on your ship. You need to understand the people around you, the people in your business. You need to be able to navigate them and lead with expertise. And so that is why I want to be an entrepreneur, is because an entrepreneur, you don't just do one thing. You are a specialized individual. And with everything going in the direction of AI and like autonomous agents and everything like that, you are going to have to be the person manning the ship, because the ship's crew is going to get less and less. And if you are an employee on a ship right now, consider entrepreneurship. You've got a load of skills that you can leverage to benefit yourself. And I'm going to get into that now. We're going to get into section number 2, which is my business and how I formed it. So my business is named Winefluence. Right now, in the wine industry, there is a huge problem. The problem is that Gen Z is just not drinking wine. Simply put, Gen Z is not drinking wine. And my theory, because I've been around social media for a long time, you could see a couple other of these videos. I've experimented, got a couple tens of thousands of views. So I've got 50,000 views over total. I probably posted for about a year, which isn't astounding, but it's pretty good. With that said, because of my positioning in life, because I was able to look at what I have been doing, which is social media, advising social media. My girlfriend, I have helped build her knitting brand up to 26,000 followers. I've helped advise my friend who has 1 million followers on Instagram TikTok, 126,000 on Instagram. And I've helped advise the wine business, the winery that I've been working for, up to, I believe they're at 16,000 followers now, and you're actually seeing a lot of Gen Zers come in that way. So because of my positioning in life, I was able to look at the problem that the total wine industry is having and say, hey, the wine industry is simply just not marketing on social media, which is the primary channel for Gen Zers, right? So I started Wine Influence, how to influence wine on social media. And that is what I'm going to be doing. At first, I'm going to be starting by going to the resources that I have, the connections that I have, and offering free services. I'm going to do that. As much as it sucks, I'm going to just give free services to people. And I will establish credibility as fast as I possibly can by doing that. Within a month, I will have credibility, and then I will start to charge $1,000 a month. And I will scale up as I am able to get results very, very quickly. That's something that Alex Hormozi talks about. Scale with proof. As you get proof of your competence and your ability to deliver a service, if you want to go into a service industry or a service-based entrepreneurial journey. Scale as you get proof, as fast as you possibly can. Now, I'm not just going to stop there because, like I said, I'm very ambitious. Let's look at the other side of my business. One is a service-based side where I do content solutions for wineries. The other side of my business is going to be a DTC, so direct-to-consumer brand. I'm going to be posting on my own main account on short-form content about wine generally. To Gen Z. That is my target audience, specifically Gen Z men, because I think men can love wine as I love wine and a lot of my friends love wine, and I think that it is hyper masculine to be able to know what wine is and how to choose a good wine for your lady. And I do think that that framing is going to resonate with a lot of Gen Z men. That is going to be my journey on social media as I build up my distribution platform, which will be my own personal brand on social media, short form content specifically. I will then eventually end up building my own product, whether that is a winery or like a wine actual label myself, or a wine adjacent product like a board game specifically designed to drink wine with. I don't know. I don't need to know that yet. All I need to do right now is build up my distribution system. So let's go into how you can then figure out exactly how to develop yourself. Oh, and then I will add this one thing. I want to show you how valuable the Gen Z audience is to the wine industry. So I work at a fairly high-end winery, and I was talking to a gentleman the other day that owns a very successful ice cream brand, and he was telling me that he advised an individual that started a winery in the Gen Z niche. I'm not going to name names or anything like that. I will tell you Whiny Baby, right? Okay, so Whiny Baby. That brand allegedly via him sold for $42 million this past September to the biggest wine brand in all of the world, Gala. That right there, because Whiny Baby had a Gen Z native audience, that right there has expressed to me that the wine industry is desperate. $42 million to acquire a brand. I mean, that shows that money is going in acquiring Gen Z audiences. So if I build up my own Gen Z audience and then build a product around them, that is going to be very, very beneficial for me. So that is a market indicator. That is a signal for me to go and move in this direction. There is going to be some resistance in starting the service because I don't necessarily have the credibility in the wine industry that I would like to have, but I do have connections and I can deliver. That's the fun part, is that once somebody signs with me, I will deliver for them no matter what it takes. And I think that that is one of my strong suits. But if you want to start a business, this is how you do it. Because for a long time, I was really focused on the businesses that I wanted to start, not the businesses that I should start. And I think that that's an important distinction for the first business that you inevitably end up starting. Is that I was focused on creating consumer brands. Like I wanted to build like products and stuff like that, right? But I have no money to do prototypes or anything like that. I don't have the money to allocate to marketing for a clothing brand. I don't have those things. And so what can I do to get money in fast? Well, it's sell my time for a service. So I provide a service and they give me money. And then you look at, okay, well, my resources. So I don't have that much money to play with. I need to sell a service unless you want to take a massive risk and try starting a product, but there's really no guarantee about that. You can learn a service. So I was like, okay, the service I'm going to provide is content solutions based on the industry that I am in, because the industry is suffering right now. The industry that I know best is wine. Look around. Oh, sorry for shaking the table. Look around at the circles that you are currently in. And depending on the problems within those circles, you can look at your own skill stack, the skills that you have acquired through life, and compile a solution to a problem that one of those circles that you are heavily involved in has. That is exactly what I did. That is how you start a business, a service business. Find a problem, solve a problem, but make sure that that problem is from a circle that you are already currently in, because you don't want to learn how to talk a new language when you are starting a business. You want to already talk the language of that industry, right? You don't want to be heavily involved in the wine industry and then go try to start a crypto product and have to learn all of these new crypto terms and how to market in the crypto space and everything like that. You don't have connections there. You do, in my situation, you do have connections in the wine industry. So leverage that if it's your first business. Leverage it. If you want to be an entrepreneur, leverage what you got up front. If you don't have money to spend, then leverage your time and your skill sets and your industry positioning. That is the best way to do it. And to find a problem, literally go on Reddit, dude. Figure out what people are complaining about. For me, it was pretty prevalent. Everybody in the wine industry is saying, oh, Gen Zers aren't drinking that much. Oh, Gen Zers aren't doing this. Gen Zers aren't doing that. No, they're just getting selective. They're getting selective about what they want, and I've talked to so many Gen Zers about this. They don't want to necessarily be buying the $200 bottles of cab. Like that's pointless to them. What they want is they want to feel connected to a story. They want to know the winemaker. They want some humor that they can relate to. They want a cool experience. That is what Whiny Baby did, and that's why they sold for $42 million, which is chef's kiss to the founder of that. Just absolutely incredible. But I highly recommend you do it. And I wrote down, I'll say it one more time. Find a problem that you can see within a circle you already exist in. Look at your current skill sets and resources, then solve it. That's what you need to do. Unless you really want to take the gamble of starting a product at that point, go for it. That is a whole different beast. I'm not talking about that. I'm guiding you on the journey that I am personally going on. So, the third point, without rambling on anymore, the third point, I'm going to tell you what I have done so far and what my goals are for this coming week. So far, I have gotten an official business email by buying a domain name. So I bought, this is so stupid actually. So winefluence.com is $5,000. Winefluenced.com, so with the D at the end, is $20 a month. So I just bought the $20 a month one, or not a month, a year one. And I think I actually got 2 years for $20. But I just did that, right? I did that because that's cost effective. I don't have $5,000 to be spending on a freaking domain name right now just because I don't want the D there. So I bought winefluence.com and I set up a professional email, Lindley@winefluence.com. If you email me with spams, I will be so mad. Please be respectful. But also, if you've gotten to this part in the video and you're still listening, respect to you. You probably don't want to just screw me over. But if you want to reach out and say hi and tell me what I can be doing better, let me know. Please email me. Okay, so I bought the domain name and then I filed my LLC. So my LLC is Winefluence, my domain name is winefluenced.com, and I set up a professional email so that way I can start emailing people. I have started doing this YouTube channel to document the entire process to give you gold in the future. So once this business is doing 200, 300,000, or no, we're not going to say that yet. Once this business is doing 20 to 30K per month, then this is going to be absolute gold for you because I will have gone through many failures and I will have gone through many wins. And if you follow along with this journey, you will learn along the way, which is absolutely beautiful. And I've also got a lot of really good connections, like the president of Titleist and the future or the past founder of what's the Ticketmaster, and a lot of multi-millionaires that have started toy brands and sold for millions of dollars, right? So I've got a lot of connections that I am going to be leveraging as mentors on this journey, and they will be giving me lessons that I will then inherently share with you along this journey. The purpose of this account is to give people gold, to give people value through raw documentation and experience. I don't want this to be clickbaity because I don't want those that just want to watch the videos to win. I want you to win. The person that is still watching this right now. Thank you. Now, where was I before I got off on that? This is what I was saying is like where I'm going to lose my train of thought at some point. So I started the LLC, I got the domain name, I got the email. I'm going to be for this next week, my goals. That's where I'm at. My goals for this next week. Number one, I'm going to do a bunch of research on social media and really understand how to market to consumers and build a personal brand in the wine industry. I'm going to find about 5 or 6 creators that are doing it well right now, like within this last month. And I'm going to emulate them in a way that is authentic to me, but also leveraging what they have been doing. So I'm not necessarily just shooting shots in the dark. So I'm going to start posting on Thursday. Until that point, I'm going to be doing the research. Once I get to Thursday, I'm going to be posting 1 video a day on short form across all short form platforms. 1 video a day minimum, maybe 2, maybe 3, but always 1 a day. Before that, while I am doing the research, I'm also going to be reaching out via cold email to multiple wineries. I'm going to aim for minimum 20 wineries in the next 4 days. We'll say 25. 25 wineries within the next 4 days. The beautiful thing is that I am in the wine industry, and so once I get some emails going, I'm going to then just show up to these places and being like, hey, did you get my email? I'm just stopping by as a follow-up, which will be amazing. This video, I'm parched, man. I'm parched. It got so dark as I was talking too. Holy cow. I don't even know if you can still see me, but I kind of entered a flow state for a little bit, and now I'm almost coming out of it because I'm almost done with the video, but stay with me for a second. So I'm going to be emailing a bunch of wineries. I'm going to be researching everything that I can about the current influencer demographic on social media so that way I can emulate from them as best as I possibly can. And then I'm going to start my content journey as I continue to reach out to wineries. And then next Sunday, I'm going to just stop into a bunch of wineries, and then that will be all included in next week's Sunday video. So these YouTube videos are going to be at minimum every single Sunday. At maximum, I might throw in a couple other ones as I go, maybe some short form content as well, just quick excerpts of something that I learned, something that I accomplished, or anything along those lines. Now, if you are an 18 to 28-year-old man who is interested in starting his own business, I do highly urge you to follow along with this content, with this page, because as I win, you will win too. Because I'm going to be sharing the lessons that I learned and the growth hacks that I learned for scaling my brand Winefluence to $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $50,000 a month. And I'm just going to keep going until I inevitably create a DTC brand that gets acquired. And from there, I will pivot to wherever I see fit, because at that point, I won't have to sell a service. I can sell whatever the heck I want. Product, whatever. So I got to win. I got to fail fast so that I can win fast. Cheers. I bid you adieu. Let's get this shit.